Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will travel to China for a 4-day visit. It will be the first time an Australian Prime Minister has visited mainland China since Malcolm Turnbull in 2016. Mr Albanese will meet President Xi Jinping and push for unimpeded free trade.
The government will raise sensitive issues with Chinese leaders during a raft of ministerial talks, which include a one-on-one between the Prime Minister and Chinese President Xi Jinping, in which trade sanctions, threats against Taiwan and detained Australian writer Yang Hengjun are expected to be discussed.
Front and centre, he has to know that Australians expect him to make the strongest possible representations to both the President and the Prime Minister about Dr Yang, who is being held in detention most unfairly.
Mr Albanese needs to go to China and demonstrate strength. He needs to be forthright about Australia's numerous concerns.
China will try and push us to distance ourselves from our closest ally, the United States. They'll be looking for more room to move in the Indo-Pacific region without us expressing views that might disagree with their policies. And I'm absolutely sure that when Anthony Albanese raises human rights issues, that China will take some umbrage at that.
Xi Jinping is expected to directly appeal to Anthony Albanese for Australia's support in its application to the Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership.
Our position on this has been consistent all along, which is that anyone seeking to join the CPTPP has to be able to demonstrate a commitment and a record of making and implementing and adhering to their promises when it comes to trade.
China are applying, they should be able to go through that process. I don't think Australia should even look at supporting that application.
The Prime Minister is expected to try to steer the conversation towards fully restoring Australia's free trade agreement with China, with $2 billion worth of trade sanctions still in place. While wine sanctions are on the way to being resolved, red meat and lobster blockages are proving tricky. The Agriculture Minister is tempering his expectations.
Things like barley and wine were punitive tariffs that had been imposed by China, whereas with lobster, beef and sheep meat, the issues there are claims by China that we haven't met particular biosecurity or hygiene standards. We, of course, reject that.
Government sources say the historic visit is likely to bring about some incremental progress in the long-running trade dispute. Joel Philp, Sky News, Canberra.